Now, while there are many different ways to make money online, this one I find very interesting because not only is it a passive income stream, but it's a way that you can start selling on one of the largest e-commerce marketplaces, Amazon, as a complete beginner. And so in this video today, I'm going to share with you how you can start selling books on Amazon through KDP that we're going to have created for us, and I'm going to share with you the whole tutorial. If you're new here, hi, I'm Mac. I post videos talking about e-commerce, passive income, and different ways to make money online, and I would love to have you as a part of our community here on YouTube, so go ahead and subscribe if you are not already. Now, I know that I did say books just now, and so let's address what exactly I mean by that, because this is going to be low to medium content books. So think of things such as journals, notebooks, coloring books, something that a customer is going to physically have to fill out. You are not going to be giving them a storyline. You do not need to be an author to do this. We're selling low to medium content books. So again, journals, notebooks, things that someone has to fill out. So it can be as beginner friendly or complex as you want it to be. Keep that in mind, but I'm going to show you how we can do all of this with one tool, and it's so easy. So let's get right into it. So this is Amazon KDP. This is how we're going to be selling our books on Amazon. Now, it does say Kindle Direct Publishing. That's what KDP stands for. And while you can create ebooks as well, I'm going to show you how we can make a physical book that's going to be fulfilled through the process of print on demand, which means that as a book is sold, Amazon is actually going to print, pack, and ship that for us. And we as the seller are the ones creating it and making profit from it. So again, it is passive income. Anybody can create an Amazon KDP account. I will have the link below for you, and you are going to need that before getting started with all of this. Now, in order to create my book today, I am going to be using BookBolt. They are a website in which we can research, create, and publish our book onto KDP. So it's all-in-one, really great tool, and that will also be linked below. So this is what it looks like once you have a BookBolt account. If you're able to follow along with me, definitely do so. But as you can see right off the bat here, they have tons of tutorials. So if anything gets confusing, you can check it out right here. But the first and foremost thing that I need to do to start this process is to figure out what I want to sell. And that's actually easier than you will think, because while there can be an overwhelming amount of ideas in your head, we can actually use the BookBolt Cloud tool and search to see how much people are actually making selling these products already, so that we don't waste our time and we're not entering a super saturated market. So over on categories, I can have an idea of different products that are selling. So I see sketchbook, logbook, activity book, coloring book, planner, journal, notebook. Now, I really would like to create a manifestation or a daily self-love journal. So what I want to do is look up what types of journals are selling in that niche. So I'm going to select journal, and then I'm going to type in my keywords, and I'm going to do manifestation, or I could do self-help, whatever the words are that I want to use. And then I can scroll down, and then boom, this is literally showing me what is selling on Amazon right now and how much it's making monthly. The ratings, it's giving me the author, it's giving me the keywords, the titles, everything that I need to know. So this one right here in particular, it is a 369 Key to the Universe journal. It was published a few years ago, but if we go ahead and see, the price is $27 and they are selling around $541 a month. So that is roughly around $14,000 selling this journal. Just saying. So if we keep going, we can check out other ones, because obviously that's been on the market for quite a long time. Here's one that's a bit newer. This has been on for less than a year. It is $10 and they are selling around $324 a month. This one absolutely kills it. I've seen this one before, but you get the idea. This is a great way to not only get inspiration, but to kind of research your market and see the possibilities of how much you actually can make. And if I am to take this keyword out and just hit search, I can see all different kinds of journals that are not going to be niche down. So this is if you're coming in completely as a beginner, you don't know what you want to sell, go ahead and do this and just scroll and see what is actually selling and the bestseller range up here. So now that I know that I want to make a self-love or a daily gratitude journal, what I'm going to do is go over here to the side of my BookBolt account, and where it says research, I'm going to go down to the create tab. Now there are two options here. There is the BookBolt Studio and the cover converter. We're going to go to the BookBolt Studio, and I'm going to show you how easy it is to actually create the inside of your book. So it'll pop up for a new project for you, and you're going to get a bunch of different options. Now I'm just creating the interior right now. So what I'm going to do is go to hardcover interior, and I'm going to name it the Daily Gratitude Journal. And then the size I'm going to keep at 6.9. And I'm going to keep it with black and white. You can change this setting as well. And then I can decide how many pages I want this to be. So here's what it looks like once we're gonna start creating the interior of our book. And here is all of my pages on the left side here. I can even add additional pages if I want to. And here's all the options to create. Now, what I said earlier about you being able to make the interiors of the book within BookBolt, check this out. So I'm gonna go to page templates and look at all the options for my interiors. So I have journals, graphs, music sheets, puzzles, like you can literally create word searches on here, which is insane, different trackers. And these are all just templates that we can use as they are to start selling in our book. So this is really amazing. This is why I want you to realize that the opportunities are endless. You could go and create 10 books today. They're all completely different just using this tool. Something else that I want you to keep in mind is that if you do want to create something more medium to higher content, maybe you want to create a coloring book, you can import your images into BookBolt and size it out that way as well. Just something to keep in mind. So I'm going to go ahead and select journal. And I'm gonna hit wide journal, and then all my pages pop up. I can make the entire book just a journal, right, with ruled lines, but I'm gonna let you in on a little secret here. Sometimes adding a little bit of spice in there, or daily prompts or journal prompts, depending on what it is the product that you're selling, it can help you to get more sales and stand out on Amazon. So if we just have a journal, that's totally fine, but we need to make up for maybe the design of the journal on the outside of what we want it to look like. So like for this notebook, I wanted to make sure that I have an engaging outside cover, because at the end of the day, it's just a ruled notebook on the inside. So sometimes if we do create a little bit more of a complex interior of a journal, so something like this is the 369 method journal that I use religiously. Just an example here, we're not going to be copying with this. What I mean is this journal is specifically designed for something. So that is also an option as well. Again, your opportunities are endless with this, and you can get as creative as you want. So I'm going to select all pages on the inside to be journals, and then I can do different colors if I'd like. I can do the stroke width. This is all very, very customizable, which I love. And then this will take a few moments, but as you can see here, it just went ahead and created all my pages. And we can click each individual one and select either even or odd if we want to edit them. So it's really easy to use here. And as I was mentioning, if we did want to spice up the inside of the journal, we can select which pages we want, and we can actually add different shapes or different text on there. So images, we have all these different things that we can upload in here. So let's say I wanted to add a saying on every page. That is where I could do that here. So let's just say I want to do today I learned, and then maybe on the odd pages I would say today I felt, or something like that, you know, depending on the product that I'm making. But see how simple it is to just add this in here, and we can change the font, can change how we want the text to be. So it's kind of fun because you're like creating a book online, right? But it is going to be printed, which I love. Once the interior of my book is finished, however complex I do choose to make that, the next step is going to be to download this as a PDF. So we're gonna have to upload this into Amazon KDP. So we wanna make sure that we're downloading our interior separate to our exterior, to our cover, which we're gonna create the cover in just a moment here. But I just want you to keep that in mind that we are gonna have two different files. So we're gonna go ahead and save the interior, and then we're gonna go ahead and create our cover. So I'm gonna do the same thing that I did when I went to create the interior of my book. I selected the hardcover and the cover because that's what we're creating. So as you can see, this gives us a beautiful outline of where we need to keep our design within, because that's what's gonna be printed, right? If we go into Amazon KDP without this actual template, it gets so confusing and you don't want anything printed wrong. So I love that they actually have this for you, and it shows you like all the trim sizes and things that you need. We can actually create our cover right in here with BookBolt. We can upload images, we can use their images as well, or if you choose to create it elsewhere and upload it into here, the cover converter is really great as well. But I'll show you around the dashboard. It's very similar to the dashboard that we just used for the interior of the book, but we're just making the cover. So you can upload your images as I said here, or you can use the Pixabay or Unsplash to get images depending on what it is that you're selling. So let's say I know I'm creating a daily gratitude journal. I could type the word Zen and just see what pops up. And there might be images for the type of book that I'm creating, depending on the design. So let's say I want to use this image here. It fits really nicely for that front and back cover there. It looks really pretty. And I could go ahead and add in some text. And we can add our font here. So see how easy it is that I'm just like creating this cover in just a few moments? And they have lots of different options too in this Pixabay. So like I just typed in line art and there's a bunch of really interesting stuff. So like, again, depending on what it is that you're creating, like this is a really cool image that could be on the back of a book. So lots of ways to get creative here. And I could obviously make this much more interesting and take the time to do it. And I encourage you to do so. As you can see, it all can be done within BookBolt. And I'll also show you quickly as well, if you do decide to create a cover elsewhere, you can go to that same Create tab and do the Bolt Mask Cover Creator and actually upload your image from there. So after playing around a bit, this is the cover that I came up with for a daily self-reflection journal. I did some of the research here and this is what I wanted to create. And I just want to add one final touch that I noticed on a few of the best-selling books over here, which I'm going to say this journal belongs to. I change the font. Beautiful. And this is how my book is gonna look once it's open. I think it looks really, really great. And so I'm gonna do the same thing and just download that as well, so that when we go right over to KDP, we're gonna have both of our files to upload seamlessly. So now that we have both of the interior and exterior of the book, we created it in just a few minutes, we're gonna head over to KDP and we're just gonna upload everything and do all of our SEO and keywords. So let's do that right now. We're gonna go to that big yellow create button. So we're creating a hardcover. That is what we were designing for, but depending on what you had just created, that's obviously the one that you would select. The first screen that pops up is going to be for all of our SEO and how we're gonna do the description for our book, how we're gonna add in the author, and all of that different stuff. So while this can seem a little bit overwhelming, do not worry, we're gonna go through it, but also something I want you to keep in mind about BookBolt is over here under that research tab, they have everything that you need to help you to do this. With the Book Scout, with the keywords, what category to use, the cloud tool to get an understanding for titles in your SEO. So I really want you to utilize that, and we're gonna do that in this tutorial, but I just want you to keep in mind, don't get overwhelmed, don't give up, don't stop right here. This is the hardest part, but it is definitely worth it, and it's how you're gonna get your book uploaded so you can start making your passive income. So I know that my journal is a daily journal, so that's what I'm gonna type in. And I'm gonna follow that with a comma, and then I'm gonna add in some more keywords. Now, as it says here, we wanna make sure that our spelling is correct, so definitely keep that in mind because it's obviously very important. So my daily self-reflection journal, and then I'm gonna jump over to BookBolt and go to keywords, and I'm gonna search for some keywords to put into my title. And this is gonna show me the keyword phrases that are being used and their competition. So daily self-reflection, which happens to be the exact title that I just typed in, my daily self-reflection journal, that's actually showing me that it's low competition, which is what we want. We want lower competition to stand out. I'm also seeing reflection daily as being a good keyword to use, and scrolling around, these are frequented typed in words for the product that I'm selling. So guided, self-care journal, reflection journal, these are all things that I want to use. So next up is going to be the author. So that is going to just be yourself. So you are going to put in your name there or your business name, and we don't want to flag anything when we're actually putting this in to be checked out by Amazon. So just make sure that you're telling the truth and making sure all this information is correct and done well. So I'm going to create my description the same way that I created my title, using a bunch of those keywords in the actual description, because it works the same way for SEO, and we want to make sure that people understand what our journal is. So this is just where we're going to put a brief explanation of what our book is. You can use AI to do that. You can actually go back to BookBolt and check out some of the other listings as well that are selling and in the bestsellers, kind of see what their descriptions look like, and then curate your own. I highly recommend doing so. Moving down the line, we're going to say that we own the copyright to this book, and we're also going to just fill out the rest of the questions depending on your product and what you're selling. So the next thing that is important that I want you to take note of is your categories. So categories on Amazon KDP are really important because we're letting Amazon know what we're actually selling to a customer, and we want it to be put in front of the right person. Before I do that, I'm gonna go over to BookBolt and use the KDP categories section. And then if I type in self-reflection, so what my niche is or what my product is, it's gonna give me the best
options to put as categories because this is so important. So feel free to put as many keywords here. I'm gonna go with this self-help and self-motivation because I feel that that is most relevant. So I'm gonna click choose category. We're gonna scroll down to self-help. And then here's all those categories that just popped up with BookBolt. So see how easy it was to show us that. And we can actually select different ones that work. And then for keywords, we're gonna do the exact same thing that we did earlier. We're gonna search for those keywords. So self-reflection, journal. And it's giving us all of the keyword phrases that are being used on the best-selling books. And again, over here, so daily self-reflection, dear self journal. So we're just gonna type in those here. And I would advise you to use all the keywords because they're important, but just make sure they're relevant. Don't fill them out and put unnecessary keywords. We want short phrases that are relevant to what we're selling. I do have some SEO videos that are for Etsy, but they're still super helpful when it comes to selling online in general. So I'll link those for you if you're curious about SEO. Moving along, we're gonna keep the published date and release my book for sale now. If you do wanna schedule it, go right ahead, but I'm just gonna select release my book for now. So we're pretty much almost done to submit this to Amazon. But something I want you to keep in mind is the ISBN number. That is basically what's on the bottom of books as seen here. So we're gonna let them just assign it for us because we don't have one and most likely you don't. So that's what you're gonna do for that. And we're just gonna make sure that we select all of our print options correctly to the print options that we selected on BookBolt when we created our interior of the book. And this is most important though, because this is actually how Amazon is going to print it. So we really do want to make sure that this is done correctly. So next is to upload your interior and your exterior of your book. As you can see here, I have done that. This is what you're looking for here. You want to make sure it says upload successfully. And on the book cover, we're uploading a cover we already have, just like this. And we do not have a barcode, so we're not selecting that. Moving along, we're going to say no to the AI generated content. If you did use AI to create a description, a title, anything like that, you are going to want to hit yes and let them know, because again, Amazon, it's a little finicky and we want to make sure that we are following their guidelines so that they accept our book. Now we're going to launch the previewer and see if our book is ready so that we can go ahead and price it and put it up for sale on Amazon. All right, so this is what it's going to look like. We just want to check it out, make sure it looks good. It's basically giving us a mock-up of our book. So it's showing us the different pages that we have. And once it looks good, we can go ahead and approve this. Or if you need to make changes, you could head back over to BookBolt, change what you needed to before you go ahead and submit this. So next is pricing, and I do want to price my book competitively, but also I'm a newer account, and so I do want to make sales and get reviews. So with overall starting this, I'm not super worried about my profit just yet. I'm more worried about growing this so that I can raise my price later on. The strategy that you use is totally up to you, and the more content that your book includes on the inside, the higher you can charge for the price. I'm just bumped over to BookBolt here and I'm checking out different journals that are selling in my niche and seeing what they're charged at. So some of them are around $19, I'm seeing $12, but this is how I'm gonna gauge that competitive price. So if I put $19 for my journal, it's going to show me what my royalty is per book and the printing cost. So here I'm getting around $4.60 per book that I sell. Obviously, if I charge more, I'm gonna get more of a profit. If I charge less, I'll make less of a profit, but you just wanna kind of gauge your prices doing that. And what's really cool too is these are all the other prices of the platforms I can also be listing my book on. So the UK, there's France, all the different countries of Amazon that's offered that we can sell our book to, which is great. So after you've done your price, there is an option here to request a book proof of your actual book. If you do want to do that and check out what the book looks like before you actually publish it, totally do that. It's up to you. It's to make sure like things look correct. And just so you know here, by doing this, as it says right here on the terms and conditions, it can take up to 72 hours before your book is live on Amazon. So if you hit publish your book and you don't see it right away, that's because it does need to go through a proof process through Amazon to make sure that you're not running through any copyright and that you've done the process well, so that they know if someone purchases it, that it's a legit book that they can print and ship to a customer. So that's basically it. Once you've done all of this, you make sure everything's correct, you can go ahead and hit publish your book and it will publish into the proof category, and Amazon KDP will let you know when it is live or if it is not approved.
So that is basically the process of uploading your books onto Amazon KDP. Let me know if you'd like to see more tutorials like this one. If you want to see more about KDP, I can go into marketing, I can do even more designing. Please let me know in the comment section, or if you're going to try this out, or any questions that you may have, I will definitely be answering and checking them out below. Everything that I used today will be linked below for you in the description as well, along with any codes that you may need to use for BookBolt to get free trials. All of that will be available, so grab those while you can. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.